Sally tells 4 words to Billy before leaving Genoa. The Young and the Restless spoilers, fan fiction. Genoa City had never been a place where goodbyes stayed simple. People left, returned, disappeared, came back with secrets, changed sides, fell in love, broke each other's hearts, and sometimes walked away believing they had finally escaped the chaos, only to discover that Genoa City had a way of pulling them back. But Sally Spectra was determined that this time would be different. She stood alone outside society, one hand wrapped around the strap of her handbag, while the evening breeze moved through her hair. The lights of the city reflected against the windows behind her, but Sally barely noticed them. She was thinking about one thing, Billy Abbott, and the 4 words she had promised herself she would say before she left. Billy had no idea that Sally was planning to leave Genoa City. That was exactly how she wanted it. For weeks, Sally had watched the same cycle repeat itself. Every conversation seemed to lead to another argument, another betrayal, another secret. She had tried to convince herself that she could build something stable in Genoa City. She had tried to believe that she could separate herself from the Newman-Abbott wars. She had tried to believe that love could survive in a town where everyone seemed to have an agenda. But she was tired, not defeated, not broken, just tired. And Sally knew the difference. She glanced at her phone. One message from Billy remained unanswered. Billy, we need to talk. Sally smiled sadly. Yes, she whispered. We really do. Inside society, Billy Abbott was sitting at a corner table, completely unaware that his life was about to change. He had come because Sally had asked him to meet her. She hadn't explained why. That worried him. Sally Spectra usually had an explanation for everything. She could turn a simple conversation into a strategy meeting, a business discussion into a challenge, and an emotional confession into something wrapped in sarcasm. But this time, there had been no explanation. Only 4 words. Meet me at society. Billy had arrived early. He kept checking the entrance. Finally, the door opened. Sally walked inside. Billy immediately stood. Sally. Hey. There was something different about her. Billy noticed it immediately. You okay? Sally gave him a small smile. I'm fine. Billy frowned. That's not convincing. It wasn't supposed to be. He stared at her. She sat down across from him. For several seconds, neither spoke. Then Billy leaned forward. What's going on? Sally looked toward the window. I wanted to see you before I left. Billy froze. Before you left? Sally nodded. Genoa City. His expression changed. You're leaving town? I am. Why? Because I think I need to. Billy shook his head. That's not an answer. It is the only one I have. Billy sat back. When? Tomorrow. His eyes widened. Tomorrow? Sally nodded. I've already made arrangements. Billy stared at her as though he was trying to determine whether this was some kind of joke. It wasn't. You've been planning this? Yes. And you didn't tell anyone? Not really. Why tell me? Sally looked directly into his eyes. Because I needed to. Billy's voice softened. Is this about Adam? Sally's expression tightened. Partly. Newman drama? Partly. Business? Maybe. Billy sighed. Then what is it? Sally looked down at her hands. The problem is that I've spent too much time trying to figure out where I belong. Billy didn't interrupt. Every time I think I've found my place, something happens. Someone lies. Someone manipulates someone else. Someone decides that love is just another bargaining chip. She paused. And eventually you start wondering if you're the problem. Billy shook his head. No, you're not. Sally looked up. You don't know that. I know enough. The words surprised her. Billy continued. You've made mistakes. So have I. Everyone in this town has, but that doesn't make you the problem. Sally smiled. You always were better at comforting people than you realized. Billy laughed softly. Don't tell anyone. I have a reputation to protect." For a moment the tension disappeared. Then Sally's expression became serious again. "Billy, I need you to promise me something." "What?" "Don't try to stop me." Billy's smile vanished. "You already knew I would." "Yes." "Why?" "Because you're Billy." He looked away. Sally continued, "You have this incredible habit of believing you can save everyone." Billy sighed. "I don't save everyone. You try. Maybe. And sometimes people don't want to be saved." Billy looked back at her. "Do you?" Sally didn't answer immediately. Then she whispered, "Maybe I just want to save myself." Billy's heart sank. He understood. This wasn't an impulsive decision. Sally had reached a conclusion. She needed distance. But there was another reason she had asked Billy to meet her. Something she hadn't told him. Something she had kept buried. And she knew she couldn't leave without saying it. Billy noticed her hesitation. "There is something else." Sally nodded. "There is." "What?" She looked at him. "You've been a good friend to me." Billy smiled. "That's all?" Sally laughed softly. "Don't make me regret saying it." "I'm listening." She took a breath. "I've watched you fight for your family. I've watched you fight against your family. I've watched you make mistakes and somehow find the courage to admit them." Billy shrugged. "Sometimes. More than most people." She paused. "And I realized something." "What?" Sally looked directly into his eyes. "You're not afraid of losing." Billy frowned. "What?" "You're afraid of becoming someone you don't recognize." He didn't answer, because she was right. Billy had spent years struggling with his own identity. He had questioned his choices, his relationships, his family, his businesses, and even his purpose. Sally had seen it. She had noticed. "You see more than people think," Billy said. "That's because I listen. Maybe that's what makes you different." Sally looked away. "I don't want to be different anymore." Billy's expression softened. "You don't have to leave to become different." "I know." "Then why?" Sally finally said the truth. "Because I need to know who I am when nobody else is telling me." Billy nodded slowly. "I understand." "Do you?" "More than you think." Silence filled the space between them. Then Billy asked, "Where are you going?" "I don't know yet." "That's not very reassuring." "It's intentional." Billy smiled. "You really have planned everything." "Except one thing." "What?" Sally stood. Billy looked up. "What are you doing?" "I have to go." "Already?" "Yes." "But you said you needed to tell me something." "I did." Billy waited. Sally picked up her bag. She walked around the table. Billy stood. "Sally?" She stopped. She looked at him. Her eyes were filled with emotion. Billy waited. Then Sally finally said the 4 words. "You deserve better, Billy." Billy stared at her. 4 words. 4 devastating words. Not "I love you," not "don't forget me," not "come with me." Instead, "You deserve better, Billy." He swallowed. "Better than what?" Sally smiled sadly. "Better than this." She gestured toward the restaurant. "Better than Genoa City. Better than all the fighting. Better than people who make you choose between love and loyalty." Billy shook his head. "You're talking about yourself." Sally didn't deny it. "Maybe." "You think you're not good enough for me?" "No." "Then what?" "I think you deserve someone who isn't running away." Billy stepped closer. "You don't get to decide what I deserve." Sally's eyes filled with tears. "No," she whispered. "I don't." "Then don't." For a moment it seemed as though she might stay. Billy could see it. The hesitation, the fear, the possibility. But Sally stepped backward. "I have to go." Billy's voice cracked. "Sally." She stopped again. "Please." She turned. Billy looked at her. "Don't make 4 words mean more than they have to." Sally smiled. "That's the problem with 4 words." What? They can mean everything. She walked toward the door. Billy remained frozen. The door opened. Sally stepped outside. Then she stopped. She looked back one final time. Billy was still standing there. Neither of them spoke. Then she left. The next morning, Billy barely slept. He kept replaying the conversation. He deserved better. What did Sally mean? Was she protecting him? Was she saying goodbye permanently? Or was she hiding something? By morning, Billy had convinced himself of one thing. He needed answers. He went to Abbot Chancellor, but his mind wasn't on business. His sister noticed immediately. "What's wrong with you?" Billy looked up. "Nothing." "That's a lie." He sighed. "Sally is leaving." The news shocked her. "When?" "Today." "Why?" "She says she needs a fresh start." "And you believe her?" Billy hesitated. "No." His sister studied him. "You care about her." Billy looked away. "She's my friend." "That's not what I asked." Billy didn't answer. Because he didn't know. Maybe that was the problem. Meanwhile, Sally stood in her apartment surrounded by boxes. Her life had been reduced to cardboard, clothes, books, memories, photographs. A few objects she couldn't bring herself to throw away. She picked up one photograph. It reminded her of how much had changed. She had come to Genoa City believing she could control her destiny. Instead, Genoa City had forced her to confront herself. She placed the photograph into a box. Her phone rang. It was Billy. She stared at the screen. She didn't answer. The phone stopped. Then it rang again. Still, she didn't answer. Finally, a message appeared. "Billy, I need to know if you're really leaving." Sally closed her eyes. Then she typed, "Yes." She almost sent another message, but stopped, because there were some things that shouldn't be written. Some things had to be said face to face, and she had already said her 4 words. The Newman connection. Elsewhere in Genoa City, Sally's departure was already becoming a subject of speculation. Adam heard about it. His reaction was complicated. He didn't like losing Sally. He didn't like not knowing where she was going. And most of all, he didn't like the possibility that someone else might convince her to stay. But Adam also understood something. Sally was no longer the woman who had first entered his life. She had become stronger, more independent, more willing to walk away. And that frightened him. He went to find Billy. When he arrived at Abbot Chancellor, Billy immediately knew why. "You're here about Sally." Adam's expression hardened. "You already know. Everyone knows. Do you know where she's going?" "No." Adam stared at him. "You care." Billy shook his head. "Don't start." "I didn't say anything." "You didn't have to." Adam stepped closer. "She told me once that Genoa City was the only place where she felt like she had a chance to become someone." Billy frowned. "And now?" "Now she thinks she needs to leave to find out if she already is someone." Billy looked away. That sounded exactly like Sally. Adam sighed. "Maybe you should let her go." Billy looked at him. "Why?" "Because that's what she wants." Billy nodded. "I know." "But you're thinking about chasing her." Billy didn't answer. Adam gave him a knowing look. "Don't." "Why?" "Because if you care about her, you don't turn her decision into another battle." Billy absorbed that. For once, Adam Newman was right. The airport. Later that afternoon, Sally arrived at the airport. She carried only 2 suitcases. No dramatic entourage, no tearful crowd, just Sally. She checked her ticket. Then she looked around. For a moment, she wondered whether anyone would come. She told herself she didn't care. But she did. Then she heard her name. "Sally!" She turned. Billy was running toward her. Her heart dropped. "You came." Billy stopped in front of her. "You didn't think I wouldn't." "I hoped you wouldn't." "That's not the same thing." Sally smiled. "I know." Billy looked at her luggage. "Is this really happening?" "Yes." "You're really leaving?" "Yes." Billy nodded. He looked hurt, but he wasn't angry. That made it harder. "I wanted to say goodbye properly," Sally said. "You already did." "No." She shook her head. "I said 4 words." Billy smiled sadly. "4 words I haven't stopped thinking about." Sally looked down. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "You did." Her eyes widened. Billy continued, "But sometimes being hurt doesn't mean someone did the wrong thing." Sally stared at him. "That's surprisingly mature." "I'm full of surprises." She laughed. Then the airport announcement sounded. Her flight was boarding. Sally's smile disappeared. "This is it." Billy nodded. "Yeah." She reached for her suitcase. Billy stopped her. "One question." "What?" "If you hadn't met me here tonight, would you still leave?" Sally looked at him. "Yes." Billy nodded. "Okay. But—" She hesitated. Billy waited. "If I stay away long enough to figure things out—" "What?" "Maybe I'll come back." Billy smiled. "Maybe?" "Don't push your luck." He laughed. Then they hugged. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't dramatic. It was simply 2 people saying goodbye to a chapter of their lives. When they separated, Sally looked at Billy one last time. "I meant what I said." "What?" "You deserve better." Billy smiled. "Maybe." Then he added, "But so do you." Sally's eyes filled with tears. She picked up her suitcase and walked away. The secret. But Sally hadn't told Billy everything. As she boarded the plane, she reached into her handbag. Inside was an envelope. Her name was written on the front. She had discovered it 2 nights earlier. There was no return address, no explanation, only a message. "You think leaving Genoa City will end this. It won't." Sally had initially assumed it was a threat. Then she read the second line. "Ask Billy Abbott what happened before you arrived." Her blood ran cold. What did Billy know? What secret was someone trying to expose? And why had they connected it to her? Sally had decided to leave anyway. But now she had another reason. She needed answers. The plane took off. Genoa City disappeared beneath the clouds. Sally stared out the window. She whispered the same 4 words she had said to Billy. "You deserve better, Billy." But this time, she wasn't talking about Billy. She was talking about herself. Billy's discovery. Back in Genoa City, Billy returned to the office. He found something waiting on his desk, an envelope, no name, no explanation. He opened it. Inside was a photograph. Billy stared at it. His expression changed. It showed Sally standing outside a building he recognized. But the date on the photograph was impossible. It had been taken years before Sally had ever come to Genoa City. Billy turned the photograph over. There was a handwritten message. Ask her why she really came to Genoa City. Billy's heart began pounding. Was Sally's arrival really a coincidence? Had someone brought her there? Had she been hiding something? He reached for his phone. He called Sally. No answer. He tried again. Nothing. Then a new message appeared. "Billy, don't trust anyone." He stared at the screen. Then another message arrived. "Especially the person who told you Sally was leaving." Billy froze. Who had told him? He hadn't even stopped to think about it. Suddenly, everything felt wrong. Sally's second chance. Thousands of miles away, Sally looked at her phone. Billy had called. She didn't answer. Not yet, because she was afraid, not of Billy, of what she might discover if she went back. She looked at the envelope again. The mystery was bigger than she had imagined. Maybe leaving Genoa City wasn't an escape. Maybe it was exactly what someone wanted. Sally closed her eyes. Then she opened her phone. She typed one message. "Billy, I'm sorry." She stared at it, then added, "Don't believe what you hear about me." She sent it. Seconds later, Billy replied, "Come back." Sally's heart raced. She typed, "I can't." Billy answered, "Then tell me where you are." Sally hesitated. Finally she wrote, "Not until I know who sent the photograph." Billy stared at the message, and suddenly he understood. Sally wasn't running from Genoa City. She was running toward the truth. The 4 words take on a new meaning. Back in Genoa City, Billy sat alone in his office. He thought about Sally. 4 words. You deserve better, Billy. At first, he had believed they were goodbye. Now he wondered if they were a warning. Maybe Sally wasn't saying that he deserved better than her. Maybe she was telling him that he deserved better than the lies surrounding them. Maybe those 4 words had been her way of telling him, don't let them destroy you. Billy stood. He picked up the photograph. Someone wanted Sally gone. Someone wanted Billy confused. And someone clearly knew something about Sally's past. Billy wasn't going to sit quietly anymore. He reached for his phone. I'll find the truth, he whispered. What happens next? Sally's departure could change everything. Her decision to leave Genoa City creates several huge possibilities. First, Billy may refuse to let the mystery surrounding Sally disappear. He could investigate the photograph and discover that Sally's past is connected to someone in Genoa City. Second, Adam could become suspicious. If Sally left without giving him a proper explanation, he might wonder whether someone forced her to leave. Third, the mysterious sender could make another move. And fourth, Sally herself might realize that leaving wasn't the solution she thought it was. Because Genoa City has one rule that everyone eventually learns. You can leave the city, but you can't always leave its secrets behind. The final twist. 3 days later, Billy received another envelope. This time, there was no photograph. There was only a single sheet of paper. Billy opened it. His eyes widened. The message contained just one sentence. Sally never came to Genoa City by accident. Billy stared at the words. Then his phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Hello? Silence. Then a woman's voice spoke. You really want to know why Sally left? Billy's expression hardened. Who is this? The woman laughed softly. You should be asking what Sally was running from. The call ended. Billy immediately tried to call back. The number was blocked. He looked toward the window. Outside, Genoa City continued as normal. People walked down the street, cars passed, lights came on. But Billy knew something had changed. Sally's departure wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning. And those 4 words she had whispered before leaving suddenly sounded completely different. You deserve better, Billy. Maybe Sally had been saying goodbye. Maybe she had been protecting him. Or maybe she had been warning him that the truth about her and the people surrounding her was far more dangerous than anyone realized. For now, Sally was gone. Billy was left behind. But the mystery remained, and somewhere beyond Genoa City, Sally was holding the missing piece of the puzzle. The question was whether she would return before someone else found it first, because in Genoa City, goodbye rarely means forever. Sometimes, it means the real story is just beginning. A.